Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 Georgia police officers were caught laughing at the fact that a Black man was hanging during the time he was in police custody. Okay, and the worst thing they did was fire these officers when they really should have went to jail on federal charges. How the hell does somebody end up lynched in police custody? But Kamala and Tim Scott want to tell us this is not a racist country. And it doesn't matter that this Black chief of police are all coons. You have to be to take a job like that and then spend your time going against your own people. Zero respect as far as I'm concerned. So, y'all, this occurred in Savannah, Georgia. And now it's under investigation for the death of William Zachery-Harvey. He was 60 years old. Officer Matthew White was suspended, while 3 other officers, they were terminated because they were sharing memes of the hanging death in a group chat. But every time these lynchings occur, because they're all lynchings, I don't give a damn what these people say. They're not smart enough to outsmart anybody. You know, they always call it a suicide, so there's no federal charges and nobody goes to jail and there's no investigation. See, that's how they get around it, by declaring every single Black man that's hanging or Black woman a suicide. They're never going to declare any of these deaths as a lynching. They're never going to do it. And let's see how they wiggle out of this one now that this man was found hanging while in police custody. Let's see how they wiggle out of this one. Okay. Another officer was placed on probation. Again, those are not punishments. Firing somebody so they can just go to the next town over to get hired. You put them on probation. Oh my goodness. I mean, if we committed those kind of crimes, it's the only thing that's going to happen to us is we're going to lose some lame ass job. Please. According to a police department release, Harvey was taken to police headquarters for question in connection to an aggravated assault investigation. He was in the interview room alone when he was found dead. No, he wasn't in there alone. Y'all full of crap. He wasn't in there alone. And what kind of interview room do you have where people have access to something to lynch themselves? So what did you have in there? You said it was an interview room. So what did you put in there? Sheets and ropes and stuff? He wasn't in that room alone, y'all. He wasn't. He was not in that room alone. Officers found him suffering from injuries sustained by an object in his possession. Well, aren't you supposed to check these people and pat them down and all that when you get them? So how did he have an object that you did not find? And we know when it comes down to black people, y'all check us to like a fine tooth comb. You check every detail. But all of a sudden, in this case, you didn't. Yeah, right. So they said he had an object in his possession. Why so vague? Police attempted to save life-saving measures, but they were unsuccessful. Harvey died in police custody. And this happened April 2nd. But they were out on the internet in a group chat making memes and laughing at this guy's death. But you want us to believe the cops are innocent in this whole thing. Mm, mm, mm. All right, so attorney Mawuli Mel Davis, who is representing the family, said the alleged aggravated assault may have occurred at a gas station in Savannah, Georgia, but no other details are known. Monday's news conference came as Davis and his partner, uh, this is Frenchie Johnson, met Savannah Police Chief Roy Minter, Mayor Van Johnson, and other city officials. Van Johnson said while he and the council don't have any input in the termination process, Savannah City Manager Michael Brown upheld the firings based on findings from the internal affairs investigation. See, you can't count on these cops investigating themselves because, especially when it comes down to us, they're going to always find nothing wrong. And in fact, I don't believe there's ever any investigation. I'm just telling y'all, I believe when they claim they're going to investigate something, they just literally sit around for 2-3 weeks and then come back before the public to say they didn't find any wrongdoing. I don't believe any investigation takes place at all. I'm just saying, I don't believe it. So I promised the family that we would thoroughly investigate it internally and determine whether rules were broken or not followed, and that we could have accountability, Van Johnson said. Although I don't have any role in the decision making process, I believe my briefing that their investigation was thorough. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. All right. So the attorney echoed those same sentiments. This is a tough day. It's a tough day for the city of Savannah, for those who look to the Savannah Police Department to serve and protect. Cops don't do that. They don't do that. And it is a tough day for the Harvey family. Davis said there are still next steps to consider, including a potential civil case. Now, wait a minute. Don't those police departments or wherever you hold people in custody, don't they have cameras? You mean to tell me y'all can't review the camera to see what happened? You know, they're not even mentioning that in the story. So you got police departments and there's no cameras in the room when something happens. I bet you if one of them cops got killed, you would have had the camera and been showing it all over the media. Okay. Davis said there are still next steps to consider, including a potential civil case. Davis said, as far as the city knows, the case has not been turned over to the Chatham County District Attorney's Office. That's a very critical next step because it is that report and investigation that we will know whether anyone will be held criminally liable, Davis added. No, whenever police find a body, which I believe they have everything to do with, there is never any accountability for that hanging black man. Historically, America has never punished anyone for the lynchings. Even if you go back looking at all those pictures, they were smiling under the tree and their stinking ass kids were smiling under the tree of with a black man hanging in it. Nobody was ever accountable. This is their entire 500-year history in America when it comes down to lynching. No one is ever accountable. No one goes to jail. Just historically, look at all of the lynchings even 100 years ago. There is no accountability at all. So you think they're going to do this now? Of course not. Of course not. These people don't believe in accountability, but they got the nerve to tell somebody else to pull themselves up by the bootstraps while every damn thing is handed to them. Got some damn nerve. So back to this. But the Harvey family begs for answers in this case. I'm sure they do. What a horrible thing. This man was 60 years old. 60-year-old man. Okay, y'all, I wanted to stop the video and pause and put his picture up. This is William Zachery-Harvey. He was a 60-year-old man that they had in police custody, and he was found hanging. This is what the police are saying. We know these mofos don't tell the truth about nothing. How can somebody be in your custody and they're found hanging and they were in an interview room? You're just going to get a boatload of lies. So I'm sure they covered their tracks real good, ladies and gentlemen. Before they got fired, they covered their tracks real good and make sure there was very little to no evidence to find on this man's death. It's just been hard finding out what happened and how it happened. Michael Harvey said, we have so many questions and we've got some answers, but we're not going to stop until we get all our questions answered. You know, they're going to just keep lying and covering everything up. You know, this is what police departments in this country do. We just want to know the truth. We just want to know why this happened. I think the answer is historic. Since William Zachery-Harvey's death, Francis Johnson said the law firm has received many disturbing complaints from residents regarding the Savannah Police Department. Those complaints have been forwarded to the city. Wow, I'm not surprised about that. I don't believe there are two, but well, you got the cornball people with the high IQs. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about your average everyday folk. They don't like these cops. Don't nobody like no American police officers except for the community they come out of. And who cares about that? What that says is there's a culture of toleration which could disguise. Look, whenever let's talk about this. Whenever police officers go to court and they have to take the stand, one thing I notice they all do is they all like to harp on the word transparency. Transparent. I've seen this through several trials. Transparency. We want to be open with the public. They can't stand the damn public. And you notice they always say these things, but they never do these things. I have heard transparency, even through George Floyd's trial. There was no transparency at all. You know, these cops aren't transparent. They're just really killers with a badge, because they don't protect and serve in the Black community. So y'all can't use that crap on us, and we're not going to believe you anyway. Okay. Now the lawyer's office said they got disturbing phone calls from the residents about the police department. So they called the lawyer's office to complain about these cops and talk about how crooked they were. What that says is there is a culture of toleration which would discuss any person on a goodwill, Francis Johnson said. So, like any other case where we see these lynchings, I always pray that they can find out who's doing this. And I believe eventually it's all going to come out. I really do. I think it's a matter of time. And one person being involved in it gets into a fight with the others and then turn on them. I've seen that happen a lot. So don't try to say y'all don't do that. Y'all do that. You'll turn on each other. I've even seen y'all turn on each other on jobs. All right. Let me see if I can play this audio here. Now, I guess I can't. No, it's not playing, y'all. They might have taken it off, unfortunately. All right, y'all. But please tell me what you think. My heart goes out to his family. Nobody deserves to go into police custody and then be found lynched. And I don't believe this man did this to himself at all. I think it's going to be more lies like we get all the time. Just like all the other lynchings, their hands are tied behind their back, but they were able to hike themselves up in a tree and lynch themselves. If y'all don't get out of here, your lies are so horrible, it ain't even funny. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.